You don't
Very
send
funny.
them to me.
Funny. I'll send them to you. Anyway, let's take some calls. Once again, folks, I am speaking with an attorney. His name is Brad Bernstein. He's the man who runs the law firm of Spar and Bernstein, which is a full-service law firm, and not just immigration. They're great, excellent in immigration. They're excellent in also criminal defense. We've been speaking. By the way, did Michael tell you about my friend?
No.
Okay. See, you don't even know what's going on behind the scene.
No.
A friend of mine called me up and told me he was facing a grand jury. I woke up Michael about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yes, he told me that.
Told you about that.
Yes, because he took off Friday. He said, I was up on the phone with Squeeze all night.
It's true. By the way, folks, you can always call me no matter what time of the night you get in trouble with the law.
And he will get a lawyer on the phone.
And if it requires an attorney, immediately fine. If the person is in jail, ain't nothing that can be done until the next day.
Anyway.
But if some information that you need to literally hire or get to the man, we can actually make that happen. If you call Squeeze at 914-484-LINK. I'll put myself out there for you, Brad.
Thank you.
You know? Nice suntan, by the way, man.
Thank you.
Okay. Been lying in the sun in Long Island.
No, I'm not lying in the sun in Long Island. It's just what happens is when the sun comes out, fair-skinned people like myself need to put suntan lotion
Yes,
on.
you need to put...
Right, so I was not
Yes,
lying out. It was just walking around. This is
Right.
what happens.
That's what happens. Start stripping, too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some calls right now. Once again, folks, we're ready to take the calls. Brad, please, straight to the point. Get the answers going, and let's move through the calls quickly and swiftly. We got a lot of work to do this week, seeing that we're both back from wherever we were working very hard. All right? Let's take the calls. Hello, caller. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, what is your question for the attorney, Brad Bernstein?
Yes,
Put my
I would like
sound
to know if the freeze for nurses,
Is the freeze for nurses
they
over?
have like,
No.
has that been?
No, let me tell you about nurses. Okay? Being a nurse used to be very helpful and used to be an easy way to get a green card. It is no longer. Okay? In the sense that there was a time period back in the 90s and again in the middle of the 2000s, 2003, 2004, 2005, where they separated and made a special category for nurses, and they called them Schedule A nurses. And back in the 90s, Schedule A nurses, there was no waiting list, so as quickly as you can get, and you didn't have to do a labor certification, because that's what Schedule A is. So as quickly as you would get the I-140 visa petition approved, which would only take a few months, that's as quick as a nurse would be able to get a green card. So although there were no work visas for nurses, nurses were able to get green cards pretty fast to come here within 6-9 months.
Right.
The Schedule A nurses in the 2000s, they gave 50,000 green cards out to nurses. When that was up, they eliminated the Schedule A nurses, so now the nurses fall in the EB3 category, the skilled worker or professional category, which has a backlog of almost 6-7 years waiting for a green card. So if you get sponsored as a nurse, you're in the same category as somebody who gets sponsored as an auto mechanic or as a cook, and you're waiting a very long time. Unfortunately for nurses, there are no work visas. You're not eligible for an H-1B visa generally as a registered nurse. The reason you're not eligible for an H-1B visa as a registered nurse is because in order to get an H-1B visa, one of the requirements is that you have to show it's a specialty occupation, one that requires a 4-year college education. And there are nurses who can get degrees with a 2-year degree and not a 4-year degree. So as a result, unless the states start requiring 4-year degree, there's one way around it is the states could easily say you need a 4-year degree to become a registered nurse, but then that would throw a lot of nurses out of a job who only have 2-year degrees.
Right.
But short of that, they're not eligible for H-1Bs. The U.S. government has not made any special arrangements for Schedule A nurses. They're in the same category as skilled workers. As a result, it's not a good thing. It's not a bonus, really, to be sponsored as a nurse. I had a lady in yesterday who just finished her associate's degree in nursing, and she's getting her, she's on a student visa, and she's getting her OPT now, and she wanted to get sponsored as a nurse, and I basically told her the same thing. So now she's going to go back to school. She goes, well, should I get my bachelor's degree in nursing? Will that help? And I go, no, that's not going to help either. So what I told her was, I said, maybe you want to try a different profession in the health field. Maybe be a physical therapist, because a physical therapist, you can get an H-1B, or an occupational therapist, you can get an H-1B.
Once again, folks, this is Link Up Radio 93.5 WVIP. I was down in Jamaica over the weekend, and someone said to ask you a question.
Yes.
They're down there. They did start school down there. They would like to go to school here in the United States. How do they go about getting a student visa?
Get accepted to a school first, then call me.
That's it?
That is it. You first have to get accepted to a school.
and then call you.
Then call me so I can help process your student visa. And what you have to be able to prove is you're accepted to the school, you can afford to pay the tuition, and that you have enough ties back to Jamaica that will allow you, that they will feel comfortable that you're going to return back to Jamaica after your student stay is up.
Brad's
Hello,
trying to
Brad?
figure out what's going on right there. Oops. Oh, well, sorry about that. My apologies there. It's time for another immigration question. Hello, caller.
Yes, Brad.
Yes.
Name Squeeze, I'm Brad.
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. I filed for my wife, right?
Mhm.
In Jamaica, and then she got pregnant after I filed for her paper almost true now. And she have a stepdaughter and my son, but I didn't file for them on the paper. What should I do?
Well, your son would be an automatic U.S. citizen, assuming you're a citizen of the United States.
Although he born after I get the citizenship? Before I get the citizenship?
Oh, he was born before you got the citizenship? Okay, then you have to file a separate I-130 visa petition for him now. And also file a separate I-130 for the stepchild. And I would file that right now.
Although she almost due to get her interview?
Yeah, she may come up before the children, or you may want to delay her interview, but that's what you're going to need to do.
Get Spar and Bernstein on the case. This way you make sure everything is dotted and everything is crossed.
Correct.
All right? Don't wanna
Now, the
waste any more
children,
time.
when they come up, the children will automatically become citizens.
No, if I do it now, I just pay the money and send in the paper for them for me to get the day for interview. I can just do it and send it, and they get accepted with that form.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
You sent in the money on what?
I sent in the money and the paper. I just waiting for her to get her interview, but I didn't do the I-30 form for the poor child.
No, you have to file
do it
separate.
now.
You have to file separate
Right, do it now.
I-130s for each child.
Okay.
Do that now.
All right.
All right, brother?
Cool.
There's still some good news, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what that is?
No.
Brad?
There's still tickets left for Sanchez. Is that it?
Huh?
I knew what you were
Yeah.
thinking.
There's still tickets left for Sanchez, man.
Right.
All right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
When is that show, man?
Where do you live?
Live in Long Island.
All right, you can go to the Queens show on May 7th in Jamaica, Queens at Mangoville, all right? Stop
How
by
much ticket?
stop by VP Records or Genesis One Restaurant, all right?
All right. Cool, Mr. Man.
And spread the word about Brad Bernstein. He has a great criminal defense attorney that people are calling me at
All
2
right.
o'clock in the morning for help, all right?
Good.
All right, no problem. But I'm serious, though.
You know about criminal defense? I'll tell you. There was there was a Supreme Court decision about 10 days ago. I don't know if you know about it. And what the Supreme Court came down and said is that if you plead guilty to a crime
Uh-huh.
and you do not understand the immigration consequences of pleading guilty to that crime, that is a violation of your rights.
Wow.
And if you are able to also prove that you would not have otherwise pled guilty had you known about the immigration consequences, you should have the ability to try to get your case vacated and reopened.
Wow.
So there
That's
are
pretty
plenty of people out there
That should be calling you
that
now.
should be calling our criminal defense department who had less than stellar attorneys representing them
Yep.
who did not advise them about the immigration consequences of pleading guilty to a crime. And that's a Supreme Court decision. So New York State, New Jersey, every state has to follow that now.
Wow.
Now, that doesn't mean that every case is now going to be reopened.
Right.
Because, if you make a motion, the district attorneys are going to oppose it and say, well, he may or may not, or she may or may not have known about the immigration consequences, but there was so much overwhelming evidence against this person that this is the best deal they would have got nevertheless. And that's just I'm not saying that in every particular case, but, that's why you need us to go and review it and argue on your behalf.